There is a kind of freedom that comes from saying, I want this, but I do not need this to feel whole. That one sentence, if you truly believed it, can change the direction of your life. The earth is a garden, and the good things of life are like birds and butterflies. If you chase them aggressively, they will drift away from you. The more you fixate on catching them, the more they distance themselves. But the moment you stop chasing, they will come and perch on your shoulders. The more indifferent you are, the more they will flock around you. The same applies to everything worth having in this life. Whether it is money, love, or recognition. If you chase them desperately, you will never get them. But once you stop making them the center of your existence, they will begin to come to you naturally. The ancient Chinese philosopher Laozi observed this thousands of years ago. He said, "To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Not the mind that is striving, not the mind that is panicking, the mind that is still." Even the Bible understood this. It says that the race is not won by the swift, neither is the battle by the strong. It is never about how much effort you put in or how desperate you are. This is not to say you should stop making effort. You have to continue doing your best. Do your work with full commitment, but do not become attached to the outcome. Do not become so desperate that your hunger begins to consume you. There is a difference between saying, I need this and I must have it by all means, and saying, I want this, but if it does not come today, I am still okay. One of those sentences comes from fear. The other comes from strength. And life responds to strength far more than it responds to fear. Seneca, writing to his friend nearly 2,000 years ago, said something that most people walk past without understanding. Everything is alien to us. It is only time that is ours. He was not talking about wasting time. He was talking about a kind of person who has already spent the best years of their life chasing an arrival that keeps moving, who has already traded their quiet miracle of Tuesday morning for an anxiety about next year, who has already mortgaged their present for a future that may never come in the shape they imagined. While one couple is running from one hospital to another, desperate for even just one child, there is another couple who have effortlessly produced 8 children and still counting. That is the universe telling you plainly, I do not reward desperation. I honor timing. It has never been about who struggled the most. It has never been about who has the most qualifications, or the most intelligent, or the most relentless. The Japanese have a concept called ma, the art of the meaningful pause, the sacred space between notes in music, between actions in life. They understood that what happens in the waiting is not emptiness, it is preparation. And here is why this matters practically, not just philosophically. If you continue pursuing life aggressively, you will stop living in the moment. You will keep postponing your happiness, waiting for a better day before you allow yourself to enjoy what is already here. And the painful truth is, that day may never come. Not because life is unfair, but because you have made the habit of deferral permanent. You become a person who is always almost there and never actually present. Life on this earth is short. The more tightly you grip life, the more it slips through your fingers. The person desperate to be loved often pushes people away without even knowing it. The person obsessed with money becomes blind to genuine opportunity because fear has clouded their judgments. The person who needs success right now often makes rushed decisions that may even delay it further. Desperation has a smell, and people can perceive it from a distance. Even opportunities can feel it. And then life in its quiet intelligence does not reward desperation. According to Rumi, the Persian poet, what you seek is always seeking you. But there is a condition embedded in that sentence that most people ignore. It is seeking the version of you that is open, grounded, and present, not the version that is running in panic. The moment you loosen your grip, things will begin to change quietly. When you stop chasing from a place of fear, you will begin to act from a place of clarity. Your decisions will improve. You will start seeing the opportunities you were too anxious to notice before. You will become calmer, more grounded, and more present in your own life. And that is when good things will start to move toward you. There is a kind of freedom that comes from saying, I want this, but I do not need this to feel whole. That one sentence, if you truly believed it, can change the direction of your life. Because now you are no longer negotiating your peace for outcomes. You are no longer saying, I will only be happy when the money comes. I will only be fulfilled once I am married. I will only feel like enough when I finally succeed. You are free, and free people build differently. A tree does not rush to grow. It does not panic in winter because there are no leaves on its branches. It does not compare itself to the tree beside it. It simply stands, rooted, patient, unhurried, and in the right season, it grows. Not because it forced growth, but because it had prepared itself to receive it. The Indian sage Chanakya, who advised kings and shaped empires over 2,000 years ago, said, "The fragrance of flowers spreads only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all directions." He understood that genuine quality in character, in work, in spirit does not need to be forced onto the world. It radiates outward on its own. Many people today are trying to advance in a season where they have not yet allowed themselves to grow. And instead of slowing down, they panic. They believe that speed will fix what patience is meant to build. Understand that the more desperate you are for money, the more you will keep accepting the wrong opportunities. You will keep saying yes to things that drain you. You will keep chasing shortcuts that will later collapse. You will keep measuring your worth by numbers that will never satisfy a hunger that was never really about money in the first place. But the moment you detach, that is when you will begin to ask the right questions. What kind of life do I actually want? What work is genuinely aligned with who I am? What can I build patiently that will compound quietly over time? Money has always been a byproduct of this kind of thought process. It follows clarity. It does not respond well to panic. The same is true for love. If you rush into a relationship hoping that another person will fill the emptiness you have been carrying inside you, the relationship will not hold. It cannot. It is like you are asking another human being to do what only you can do for yourself. The Arab proverb says it plainly: the one who knows himself knows his Lord. And I would extend that the one who knows himself does not need someone to tell him who he is. When you learn to sit quietly with yourself, to be genuinely at ease with your own company, when you no longer chase love out of loneliness, that is when love tends to find you. Now, I want to be careful here, because this teaching is often misunderstood. This is not about becoming passive. It is not about sitting back and doing nothing while you wait for the universe to arrange your life for you. That is not detachment, that is avoidance, wearing a philosophical costume. This is about removing the anxiety from your efforts, working hard without a frantic desperation, moving forward without forcing every door to open by brute will, wanting things sincerely, but without clinging to them as though your survival depends on the outcome. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who was once himself a slave and had every reason to be broken by life, made a distinction that remains one of the most useful ideas ever committed to writing. He said that there are things within your power, and some of these things within your power are the quality of your attention, the integrity of your efforts, the character you choose. And there are things outside your power, which includes the timing, the outcome, and the response of the word. He further said, give everything to what is within your power and release everything outside it. That is the most disciplined form of living. There is a calm version of you somewhere beneath all the noise. A version that understands that life unfolds in layers. That timing is not your enemy. That forcing things often delays them. That peace is not a reward you collect at the end of a long struggle. It is something you carry with you along the way. Zhuangzi, the ancient Chinese philosopher, described the ideal person as someone who moves through the world like a skilled cook, working with the natural grain of things, not forcing, not hacking, but finding where life naturally opens and moving through there. The effort is real, but it is effort in harmony with the moment, not war against it. So breathe and let it go. Not because everything is perfect, not because the money is already there or the relationship has already arrived, but because not everything needs to be solved today. Because the relentless pressure you are putting yourself is not moving your life forward. It is depleting the very person who is supposed to build it, and that person is you. Relax your grip on how your life must look by a certain age, by certain dates, by someone else's timeline. Release the punishing schedule you have set for your own becoming. Trust that what is genuinely meant for you does not require desperation to reach you. Only a version of you that is present enough to recognize it when it arrives and grounded enough to receive it properly, we actually receive it. Because the life you have been running after is quietly waiting for the moment you will finally stop running. And when you do stop, when you finally exhale, you may find out that it was never as far away as the chase made it seem.